You ever catch yourself replaying a conversation over and over like your brain's stuck on repeat? Maybe it was a small argument, a goodbye, or just something you wish you said differently. You're doing something else, but your mind drifts back there again, like it's trying to rewrite the past, one word at a time. It's strange how the quiet moments after a talk can be louder than the talk itself. That's what this video is about, that loop we all get trapped in, and why it's so hard to escape. Part 1. The loop in our minds. Have you ever caught yourself lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and suddenly, that one conversation starts playing again? Maybe something you said at work, a reply that didn't sound right, a joke that wasn't funny, or maybe something you didn't say? It's strange, isn't it? The moment is long gone, but your mind keeps hitting replay over and over, like it's trying to fix something that can't be fixed. There's a name for that quiet torture. It's called rumination. But at its core, it's not just about overthinking. It's your brain's way of saying, I'm not done with this yet. We replay conversations because they touch something deeper than words, something emotional, unfinished, or misunderstood. Our mind becomes a projector, showing us what could have been if we had said it differently, or if they had understood us better. Most people think replaying conversations means you're insecure or obsessed, but it's not that simple. Sometimes, it's about wanting closure, that sense of peace that never came. After the talk ended, it's like your brain is searching for an ending that feels right, and when it can't find one, it keeps looping. Maybe you had an argument with someone you love, and hours later, your mind still whispers the words you wish you said. Or maybe it's a casual conversation that didn't go wrong, but still lingers because deep down, it revealed something about how you see yourself. Our thoughts don't just repeat random moments. They replay the ones that made us feel something: shame, regret, pride, confusion. They hold up a mirror, and without realizing it, we start studying our reflection through those memories. And here's the truth: when you replay conversations, you're not just reliving what happened. You're trying to understand who you were in that moment, and why you reacted the way you did. Part 2. The mind's way of rewriting the past. When we replay conversations in our head, it's not just nostalgia or guilt. It's our mind's natural way of processing information, trying to make sense of what didn't sit right emotionally. See, the human brain hates unfinished stories. Psychologists call it the effect, the tendency of the mind to hold on to incomplete experiences. When a conversation feels unresolved, your brain keeps revisiting it like a song stuck on repeat, hoping the next playthrough brings clarity or closure. But the truth is, the mind doesn't want to fix the words. It wants to fix the feeling. Maybe you felt unheard, embarrassed, or misunderstood. So your brain replays that scene, searching for a version where you're seen clearly, where you respond differently, or where they finally understand your side. It's not weakness. It's awareness trying to rewrite pain. Think of it like this: your memory isn't a file you open, it's a story you recreate every time you remember it. Each replay slightly changes how you see that moment. The more you revisit it, the more you shape it to fit your current understanding of yourself. That's why, sometimes, the same memory that once hurt can eventually make you laugh, or the conversation that once embarrassed you can later teach you something. But here's the catch: not everyone lets the replay evolve. Some people stay stuck on one version, the one filled with shame, or guilt, or anger. They become trapped in the loop because they never allow new meaning to form. And that's where emotional exhaustion comes in. The body is calm, but the mind is still fighting a war that ended long ago. If you've ever lain awake thinking, I should have said this, or why didn't I defend myself? What you're really saying is, I wish I felt safe enough to be honest then. It's not about words. It's about emotion. It's not about control. It's about acceptance. And that's why understanding the psychology behind the replay matters, because once you know what your brain is searching for, you can stop fighting it. and start listening to what it's trying to show you. Part 3. What replaying really reveals about us. Every replay is a mirror. And what it reflects isn't the person you were talking to, it's you. When we catch ourselves going back to the same moment over and over, what we're really doing is revisiting a version of ourselves we weren't comfortable being. Maybe you were too quiet when you wanted to speak up. Maybe you smiled when you actually wanted to walk away. Or maybe you said too much and wished you hadn't. The replay begins when the present self starts judging the past self when you think, I should have known better. But the truth is, you didn't. And that's okay. That's the hard part about growth. It teaches you how you could have done things differently, but only after the moment is gone. If you really listen to your replays, you'll notice a pattern. They often appear when there's something unresolved inside you, not necessarily with the other person, but within yourself. When you replay a conversation with someone who hurt you, it's usually not because you want them back, it's because you want to understand why you stayed. When you replay an argument, it's rarely about proving your point, it's about proving your worth. And when you replay a moment of silence, it's often because you wish someone had cared enough to fill it. The mind doesn't replay things that feel complete. It replays what your heart still doesn't know how to hold. You see, every I wish I said this is a quiet way of saying I wish I felt heard. Every I shouldn't have said that is a whisper of I wish I loved myself enough to stay calm. So the next time your mind drags you back into an old conversation, try not to fight it. It's not weakness. It's your emotional self asking for attention. Maybe it's saying, hey, you didn't deserve that, or you don't need to explain yourself anymore. Replaying is not always about the past. Sometimes, it's how your mind teaches you who you're becoming. Part 4. Breaking the loop, finding peace with the replay. There comes a point where you realize, no amount of replaying will change what happened. You can rewrite the words in your head 100 times, but the scene will always end the same way. And that's not failure, that's closure trying to make its way through the noise. We chase peace by searching for control. We think that if we can understand it fully, we'll stop feeling hurt. But peace doesn't come from solving the past, it comes from accepting that some things didn't go the way we hoped they would. The reason our mind replays conversations isn't to punish us, it's to process what still feels unfinished. But the only way to truly finish it is to stop trying to fix it. Let the conversation exist as it was. Let your younger self make the mistake. Let the other person say what they said. And then, let yourself walk away from that room mentally, emotionally, completely. When you stop resisting the replay, it starts to lose its power. It becomes quieter, like background noise fading into the distance. Because healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means remembering without pain. You might still think about that person or that night. You might still feel a soft sting when you remember what you said. But one day, it'll hit you differently, not with guilt, but with understanding. Not with shame, but with growth. You'll look back and realize, the replay was never about them. It was your mind's way of teaching you what kind of peace you now crave. It was the slow, quiet process of learning to forgive yourself. And maybe that's what healing really is, not moving on instantly, but replaying until the emotion finally lets go of you. Part 5. The quiet lesson of letting go. Maybe that's why we replay conversations in our heads. Because silence never really feels like an ending. We go back to fill in what we couldn't say. To soften what came out too harsh. To understand what was left unsaid. But eventually, we realize that not every conversation needs to be rewritten. Some are meant to remain as they are, imperfect, unfinished, and human. The truth is, your mind replays what your heart hasn't accepted. It's not a flaw, it's a form of care. It's your brain's way of saying, there's still something here I need to understand. But understanding doesn't always come from thinking sometimes. It comes from letting the thought rest. You don't have to silence the noise completely. You just have to stop feeding it. And one day, you'll catch yourself remembering the same moment, But this time, it won't hurt. It'll just be a story, something that once mattered, that once shaped you, that you've now outgrown. If you've made it this far, maybe this video found you for a reason. Maybe your mind has been replaying something lately, a fight, a goodbye, a moment you wish went differently. And maybe, tonight, you can let it replay one last time. And then, let it go. Because sometimes peace doesn't come from fixing what happened. It comes from finally allowing yourself to stop hitting rewind. If this spoke to you, take a breath and don't forget to subscribe for more calm storytelling about the mind and the quiet parts of being human.